Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and let me tell you what, I have helped clients with big budgets and small budgets, and in today's video, we are talking about creating big style on a low budget and some top tips you can use to decorate your home. Now, the first thing we absolutely have to talk about that you have to remember when it comes to decorating your home is that you really need to start off nailing your style and planning your space. And what does all of that mean? What does that have to do with being on a budget? You have to figure out exactly what you want your home to look like before you start buying things. That way you don't end up with stuff you don't want, or you realize, wait a second, this really isn't my style, like this doesn't work here. And that's gonna happen when you move into a new place, right? Like, let's say this home is bigger than your last one. Well, maybe you need more furniture or everything feels smaller, so we don't wanna add to that problem. So nailing your style, figuring out what the home needs. Come up with some floor plans, get some inspiration, find photos that reference what you want to achieve before you start buying. Now, let's talk about some of the areas where I think you should spend a little bit of extra money, and some of them you should definitely save on. I hesitate to tell you these are things that are good to spend a lot of money on, but they're things that we don't want to sacrifice quality on, so keep that in mind. The main item in a room, the main piece of furniture in that room is something that it always makes sense to get the best quality you can afford for. So like, a sofa in your living room. You're going to sit on it. You're going to use it. It needs to be comfortable. It needs to be durable and long lasting. It needs to stand up to whatever you are throwing at it, whether it is, a naughty little cavalier. If you have children, if you just have some rowdy friends that are going to come over and have a movie night on it, that's okay. It's got to be able to stand up to it. So that may be a piece where you say, I'm willing to put a little bit more money into it to get a performance fabric, or I need it to be really big and oversized. So that's something I have to think about. It's okay to do that. The bed in your bedroom, it's got to be a comfortable bed. You have to have a really good quality mattress. And that's not something you see, but it's something that it's worth putting a little bit of money into. And the same thing goes for a dining room or every room in your house. Whatever the main piece of furniture you are going to use in that space, it's worth spending some extra money on to get something that's really good quality. Something else I always believe in putting some extra money into are comforts, things that are going to make your space usable and comfortable to be in. One of those things would be great bedding. I love great bedding. I'm all about it because you spend a lot of time in bed, like just sleeping or hanging out or being in there, whatever. It has to be comfortable. Good quality bedding is going to be that thing. Figure out what that means for you. There are other areas in your home you want to do that as well. Something like in the kitchen. I don't want to put a lot of money into bad quality cookware. I want it to be good and nice. And so if I leave it out, if you see it sitting on the stove, it's going to look beautiful. That's another thing that it's okay to spend a little bit of extra money on. But there are also areas you should save that you don't need to spend a ton of money. The top thing I think you don't have to spend a ton of money on are actually throw pillows. You can get throw pillows everywhere, and throw pillow covers, don't even get me started. Go to home decor stores, go to outlet stores, go to Amazon. Go on Amazon and find some great pillow covers. As a matter of fact, go to my Amazon storefront. But you don't have to spend a ton of money on pillow covers. You certainly can if something really speaks to you. Like a designer fabric on a pillow, they're great, but designer fabric is really expensive. You're talking like hundreds of dollars a yard, and a pillow might need 1 or 2 yards, but like, that's a really expensive pillow cover. So you don't have to spend a ton of money on it. And you can also get really good pillow inserts. Get them a little oversized so the pillows are full. And that works out nicely because you get good quality, good comfortable pillows without having to spend a ton of money on them. Also, if you are that person, you're gonna just buy pillow covers for the pillows, go check out the clearance section because there's always pillows there that people don't want because the covers are ugly. Okay, I will say that, but the inserts in them are really good. And you can sometimes find a pillow insert for just a couple of dollars that is really nice, high quality, feels good and comfortable, but doesn't have to cost a ton to get that. So yeah, I'm gonna save money on those pillow covers. Another area I'm going to save money on is actually lighting. I love lighting. I love layered lighting. I love to have a ton of it, but if you're gonna have a lot of lighting, it's gonna be expensive. If you're buying quite a few fixtures that are already expensive, it is. And you can find a lamp, a table lamp, easily that's $800, $900, $1,200. That's a lot for a lamp. It's okay to go to a thrift store and get a lamp. It's okay to go to a Home Goods and get lamps from there. They're good, they're nice. I have plenty of them. This lamp right behind me is from Amazon. It's a good deal. And guess what? The light bulb in them is all the same. The electrical, the wiring is all the same. It's okay to save money on light fixtures. Also, I find that you don't touch light fixtures that often. Like a ceiling mounted fixture, I don't touch them. You know, they're on the ceiling. I touch the light switch, but not the fixture itself. So it's okay that maybe I didn't spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a light fixture for those rooms because you don't have to. Now, sometimes you want to, that's okay. Like, you know me, I love a crystal chandelier. That's all right to put a little bit of money into one area or something, but I also kept some of the original fixtures from this house and used them because I really like them. You can save money on a light fixture, whether it is a floor lamp, a table lamp, even LED rechargeable lamps. They don't have to be very expensive. Sconces, overhead lighting, you can save money there, and it's a good place to do it. Now that's high and low, but there's also a mid-tier we have to talk about. Some items maybe you want to spend a little extra on, or you feel really passionate about, or maybe it just doesn't make sense for you to do that. And the first one I would say is artwork. I love artwork. I love real artwork, original artwork, but it's expensive. And you might not be the person that says, I can justify putting that money into artwork. A custom commission piece, let's say thousands of dollars, okay? And it's not, I'm not the person that's ever going to tell you art's not worth it, because it's representative of what's happening right now and creativity. It also brings life into a space, but you just might not be able to afford it. And that is okay. I've gotten massive pieces of artwork that are a really good deal, and I've gotten really small pieces of artwork that were very expensive. It's okay to be somewhere in the middle there. It's okay to make your own artwork. It's okay to ask someone you know or have your kids do something. It's also okay to buy a custom commission piece. I'd also say, look at what's at those box stores. You might find something you like, because sometimes it doesn't have to be the most groundbreaking piece of artwork. It can just be a generic piece that works, that fits the space and ties the color in together. If you're not the person that has that great appreciation for it, that's all right. Or you can get multiple pieces, layer and collage them together. Sometimes you just want to get a bunch of matching frames and put black and white family photos in them. That's okay too. Thrift stores have great artwork. And if you're looking for an actual piece, a custom commission piece, art schools always have students that are looking to sell a piece and make a little extra money. Art fairs are great places to find things too. And don't write off sculpture as well. There are lots of interesting things out there you can get that will take the place of a painting, but be more interesting or textured or physical. That's cool too. Artwork is a great place to think about spending money, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that place you do it. Another good place to save a little bit of money, but it's worth putting something into, is drapery and window treatments. I love great window treatments. Designers across the world always focus in on window treatments because they really make a space feel luxurious and beautiful and expensive. But I don't think you have to go fully custom with window treatments. You know, designer fabric, like I said, hundreds of dollars a yard. You could spend tens of thousands of dollars on window treatments, on a single window treatment. But you don't have to, absolutely not. You can get beautiful things, and you can find them in my Amazon storefront, that will actually fit your space in a custom way and look very expensive for not a lot of money. But choosing window treatments can be difficult. As a matter of fact, every aspect of interior design can be hard, especially when you're on a budget. So it's worth maybe talking to a professional like me. You could book a one-on-one virtual design consultation with me using the link in the description box down below, or going to intro.co. We can do a FaceTime call together where you can show me your house and I can tell you exactly what I think you need to do and get some of those difficult questions answered. So be sure you check it out, and be sure to remember that the times shown are already in your time zone. Another great mid-tier item that you should consider for your home that doesn't have to be the most expensive or the cheapest is a rug. Rugs are hard worn because they're on the floor. You walk on them, like our shoes are on them, the dog's paws are on them, the kids are sitting on the floor messing around playing with them. Rugs get worn in an aggressive manner sometimes, and it doesn't make a ton of sense to really buy an expensive rug that's just gonna get worn out. It just doesn't. So rugs are a good place to either splurge or save. You may be very passionate about hand-knotted wool rugs or vintage, or a certain texture or material, and if you are, then I think go for it. Hey, by all means, absolutely. But if you're that person that you're like, you know what, it's gonna get destroyed one way or another, like I'm not spending a ton of money on a rug, then get something cheaper. I just got a puppy, all right? He's, almost a year old. He's coming up on 9 months, but he still is in that destructive phase where he wants to chew things up and mess around with them. So you know what? I'm not buying expensive rugs right now. I already did that. He's messed some of them up. I'm not happy about that, but it is what it is, and I knew it was going to happen. That's something I have to think about. I'm not replacing those rugs that he's messed up because they're just going to get messed up again until he's a little bit better trained and calmer. I have so many clients who say, my pet is just a little older right now, so we're not doing rugs at the moment, and maybe in the future we will, but they have accidents or something. That's all right. We can work around that. It's okay not to have a rug. It's okay to have a really luxurious, expensive rug. The more delicate rugs in my home are in the studio here, where I have a cowhide, I have a wool rug that I really love so much. And so when I'm not working in here, the door is closed. Arden doesn't come in because he's not going to mess up the rugs any more than he already has. We're not going to talk about that. But that's something to think about also. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you're obviously getting some good value for your time, and I love that for you, but you should also take a moment, hit that subscribe button. I am always looking out for you in every one of these videos, 2 a week, so be sure you join us, become a part of our GarrettLeChic family, and hit that subscribe button. Call yourself an OG and subscribe before we hit 100,000 subscribers. Yes, join us. I also would greatly appreciate it if you help me to defeat YouTube's algorithm by giving this video a like. Okay, that's the high, the low, and the mid-tier areas where you should be considering what you're putting your money into. But there are also some other things to think about, and that's new and old. I like a mix of high and low and new and old. I think that builds character, it builds personality into your home, and that's sometimes what you need when you're working on a budget that's big or small. All right, I like to see a little vintage here or there. Maybe if you have a really high budget, we're looking at antiques. But if you have a lower budget, we're looking at some cool vintage pieces, and that's okay. Now, what I would say to go vintage on is something that's easy to clean and take care of. So I'm looking for stone and wooden tables, wooden chairs. Those are things that I can literally just wipe clean. And I am very happy about that because I don't have to worry about what's going on underneath that I can't see, because I can see everything. Wooden chairs, tables. I have a vintage marble coffee table here in my studio that I absolutely love. I have a vintage desk here that, once again, is one of my favorite pieces in this space. You can go vintage on artwork. Like I said, go to some thrift stores, check out what they have, see what's happening. Etsy is a great place to find vintage artwork. I love that. Cherish is great for vintage furniture because they offer shipping. It's one of my favorite sites to go to. eBay is great for accessories and decor, which is another area I think going vintage on makes a lot of sense, because vintage accessories, they tend to not be mass produced, not to be like low quality, junky. I don't like plastic things. I don't like things that don't feel like original, authentic to me. I like vintage books too, so vintage coffee table book. That's a great way to get artwork on a budget. If you find a beautiful book that has great images, go for it, especially one that's a little damaged, like if the cover's messed up, the spine's broken. Nobody's restoring a $5 book. As long as it's not a rare book, I mean, check it out and see, because you might find like, a first edition book that's gonna pay off your mortgage, and I love that for you. But, if it's not that, then just cut it up and turn it into artwork. That's great too. Vintage books, wonderful. Vintage accessories and decor. There's so much personality there, and I think that's interesting. I want to find collectible things or vintage things. Find something you're passionate about, especially when you're on a budget. Like, I collect Wedgwood. All right, I talk about this in a ton of videos. I love jasperware. It's one of my favorite things. I have a weakness for it, okay? I love it because it's something I know I'm never going to look at a piece of it and be like, oh, I'm tired of that. Just donate it to the thrift store. Like, absolutely not. I'm going to go to the thrift store to look at you donating it because I think you're crazy and I'm going to buy that. Okay, that's what I love about it. So I know I'm never going to waste money on it. I'm never going to get tired of it. Now, when it comes to buying things brand new, my go-to is going to be anything upholstered. I'm looking for it brand new because reupholstering furniture is very expensive. You are going to have a really hard time choosing what fabric you're going to reupholster it in. So sometimes it could take months. The good reupholstery people will have big backlogs of clients, so you're going to wait a while to have that done. And like I said, it's really expensive. Designer fabric is really expensive. Now, here are some top tips to remember when you are sourcing, you're buying things when you're on a budget, because I want you to get the best deals, the best value for your money, no matter what your budget is. So number one is get creative when you're sourcing. And sometimes that means looking a store up, seeing if they're associated with another retailer, or looking to see if there is a dupe of that product. If it's something brand new, like there's gonna be a dupe out there most likely, so like why would you pay a premium for something that someone else is making the same exact thing cheaper? And also you don't realize a lot of stores, they buy from distributors, so it literally is the same exact thing. I also am a professional at reverse image searching things all of the time. Google is one of my favorite resources in the world. Reverse image search that thing, you will find it for cheaper somewhere else, or you may find that it's a way better deal than you thought it was, and now you're really excited about it. Get creative with sourcing. Like I said, go to the thrift stores, go to yard sales, go to antique stores, and go to flea markets too. Go to swap meets. Hey, that's great too. I love Facebook Marketplace. Amazing, amazing resources are out there, so get creative when you're looking for them. The next top tip I want you to remember is to take your time and don't rush, because when you rush, you're probably not gonna get the best deal possible. I will wait until sale season. I know that there are certain retailers I like that they have a sale every year around the holidays. That's when I'm gonna look to buy those items and purchase those things because I want the best deal possible. I'm also gonna go to outlet stores. I love an outlet store. Love an outlet store because I can also look at items that have damage on them that they're trying to sell cheap, and I can say, well, you know, if I was thinking of getting that new, I see all of these pieces, 10 of them here, all have the same type of damage. Maybe that's not the quality I thought it was. Avoid it. Something else you have to remember is that you are usually going to sacrifice something when it comes to design. And that can be a number of things. You know, I always say you get 2 out of 3. Either it's gonna be affordable, it's gonna look good, or it's going to happen quickly. So if you want it to be affordable and look good, it's gonna take time. So don't think that you're gonna have this turned over overnight. It's okay to have a mattress on a floor for a while. It's okay not to have every piece of furniture the day you move in. That's all right. Take your time, don't rush yourself. Quality is key for me. I don't wanna buy something that is cheap or low quality just to have to replace it again and again and again, because now I paid 3 times the cost of that cheaper item when I probably could have got the expensive thing for less than that. I want good quality first and foremost, no matter how long it takes me to find it or get it in my budget. That is going to be my priority, and it should be yours too. Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and thank you for spending some time with me today, because in this video, we're talking about the 5 most beautiful interior design styles. Many people agree, many designers love them, and I wanna hear from you if you have one of these, and if you don't, what would you define your style as? Now, the first design style, one of the most beautiful in the world that I love so much, brings me so much joy to see, is the Parisian apartment style. Now, this style is decadent. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it's highly designed and thought through. And that's what I love about it. And the reality is, like, you know, you kind of have to be in a space that architecturally fits this in order to achieve that full and complete look, but it can be reimagined and adapted to fit into your personal style. Now, what is this style overall? It's a mix of traditional items, of historic and beautiful pieces, and modern details, modern furniture pieces, this whole mix of them. Every piece should be looked at as if it's artwork in itself. And I think that is beautiful. You know, you can have really ornate, beautiful traditional draperies with modern furniture and upholstery. You often have a lot of color, or sometimes it's super neutral, and that's all really beautiful. Now, the great part about this style is that if you don't live in a place that has the scale of these apartments, right? I mean, massive, you know, 12-foot ceilings and these very linear-like spaces, beautiful ornate detail and plasterwork. Like, most of us don't live in those spaces, and that's okay. I don't, but we love this style. You can reimagine it and adapt it into your home or your personal style. And that's kind of what I've done in my home. My style, I wouldn't call Parisian apartment style. I would call it like modern Southern Regency, but I love the details of the Parisian apartment style, the eclectic feeling it can have, more on eclectic later, but it's easy to reimagine in your own style or based off of the pieces you have or have access to and the level of detail you bring into that space. Now, no matter what your style is, we can make it work within this realm, or we can fine-tune your personal style to make your home look like you and reflect you. And it may take an interior designer to make that happen. So I am at your service. You can always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me. You can show me around. I can answer all of your design questions, and you can book that call using the link in the description box down below or by going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Now, the next most beautiful interior design styles that designers go crazy for, and my clients come to me and they love, this is probably the #1 style I'm working in right now for people, and that is organic modern. Now, not to say that's the only thing I do, okay? I'm very well versed and I can work in any design style, but organic modern is what a lot of people are really liking now. Organic modern is great, and it can be so beautiful because of the versatility in it and what we can do to personalize your home. Organic modern is all about material, and it's all about color and spatial layouts and planning. It's not so much about ornamentation and collecting and all of that. It's about refined details and a comfortable space. Most of these organic modern spaces are actually incredibly usable, and that's why people gravitate towards it. It does also feel very new, but it doesn't date quickly. When I'm working in organic modern, my clients like a little bit of color. I have a few clients in this style right now. One loves pinks and purples and those sort of peachy tones, and another is like, I want sapphire blue and I want all of these colors. You can easily adapt this to fit any of those color requirements that you have, or what you name your favorite color, you can do it in this style. And that's really great. It can also be completely neutral and feel really authentic. You can use a lot of depth and rich colors. You can use browns and blacks and camels, or you can go all ivories and creams and beiges. So organic modern really fits the brief for a lot of people. Now, it's all about shape in this style. Like when we're looking for pieces of furniture, we want to see something that has a little bit of an organic shape. I mean, I guess that's self-explanatory, right? But we want something that has a little bit of curvature, a little detail. We want it to have some of these softer edges to get that organic feeling. And that's the really great part about it. Also, you can adapt this to a lot of different design styles. Like let's say you want that Parisian apartment vibe with the heavy ornamentation on the walls and ceilings, but you're like, hey, you know what, I actually want something super comfortable and relaxing and plush. You can adapt it into organic modern with the furniture, with the color of the walls, and that's really beautiful. I will say the majority of the materials we use in this style are very soft and welcoming. They tend to be noble materials, like a wool rug, for example, but we want velvets, we want cottons, we want those sorts of natural materials and very soft textures. And I really appreciate a style like this that has a lot of versatility because we can customize it and make it reflect a person's style, like their true style. That is always exciting to me. And when I can work with a client, we get really excited about something and we're like achieving some great design. It's a win-win for everyone. Now, the next interior design style that designers love, it's one of the most beautiful in the world, I appreciate so much, is eclectic design. Eclectic for a lot of people just means random stuff. Okay, that's what they think it is, but eclectic is incredibly intentional. And the reason I like eclectic so much is because it has this very curated feel to it. And that is something that takes a really refined eye to achieve. And it's not something that is just like mass marketed and produced and anybody could do it or have it. It really takes a very, very specific look to feel natural and look good. A lot of people will think it just looks like, you know, curated home staging, which I guess you could kind of say that, but that's actually a pretty, you know, good thing about it too, because a lot of people have different pieces. We can curate it based on what you already have and not have to replace every single thing. And it's very intentional with the coloring, in my opinion. I will tell you that I think eclectic design tends to lean a little bit more like masculine feeling, but there's nothing wrong with that, and it's okay. I actually like that. So what is eclectic design and how do you do it? It's a mix of different styles of pieces, and it may be everything is in the same style, but then they're all different colors or tones, textures, materials. You may be mixing metal finishes, but it's going to be done intentionally. Now here's an example of eclectic design. Look at this space. You can see there's a black and white cowhide on the floor, and then an accent chair here in this sort of office situation that has a black frame with an almost white upholstery material. The office chair, the chair at this desk, is actually black and has a black frame. That's making that reference point. We have these pieces that all have the same color, so it feels cohesive, even though none of these pieces are actually the same style, which is interesting, to say the least. And on top of it, we have these potted plants. They're kind of very tropical feeling and inspired, which adds a lightness and a brightness into this style. And that's interesting, and that's what eclectic is all about. You can influence it based on some of the accessories you bring in, like a potted plant. Artwork is another easy way to influence this style. An accessory like a floral arrangement could really influence the style as well. Eclectic also has certain tiers and offshoots to it, let's call them, like romantic minimalism. That is a form of eclectic design, and that's a style I've been talking about for a little while that has the influence of minimalism, but is a little bit more, it uses traditional pieces that are a little bit more romantic in their design and nature. So eclectic design is a designer's favorite. It's a go-to. And the reason people like it is because it fits into virtually any style of home, because it's just a mix of things that don't necessarily belong together, but they do because it's intentional. And that's the biggest thing to remember if you're using eclectic design. Everything has to look and feel intentional. It can be hard to plan eclectic design. It happens naturally and it's very curated. So it's not something that you really want to plan too strategically in advance. You kind of want to keep an idea about what needs to be there and then go on sourcing to get those pieces. The good thing about eclectic design is that it doesn't tick a single box because it ticks every single one of them. And you can convert this into your style and make it truly reflective of you because of that curation that has to happen in order to achieve this. Eclectic design is not just a big mix up, a mess of all sorts of different things together. It's incredibly intentional, and if you're going to decorate with this style, you need to keep that in mind and remember it, because if you want to achieve beautiful design in your home, you're going to have to be strategic. Speaking of creating incredible design in your home, if you're a design lover like I am, join our community, because we all are here talking about interior design every week, 2 videos at least a week. So take a moment, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notification on, and join us, become a part of our LeChic family. I would also greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video a like. Another style designers love, and one of the most beautiful, is actually Grand Millennial. Now, Grand Millennial is kind of the opposite of eclectic. Eclectic is a little bit minimalistic, right? As where Grand Millennial is a little bit maximalist, and I love that for you. If eclectic feels more masculine in its nature, Grand Millennial is much more feminine. And that's something really interesting, and one of the reasons people really love Grand Millennial design. Now, it is not for everyone. It can feel very heavy. It can be very overwhelming because you're using a lot of detail and ornamentation in this style. You're going to have details like pattern fabrics and wallpapers. You're going to have trim like pipe details. You're going to have bullion fringe. You may have trim on the drapes. Actually, one of the big things with Grand Millennial is a ribbon border on drapery as opposed to like a fringe detail. That's a modernization in this style, but these are all things that Grand Millennial has, and one of the reasons people really love it. I personally like Grand Millennial, and I've tested it out. I've tried it in my home. It's a little much for me personally, but I do love the look aesthetically of it because it just is all encompassing when it comes to the color scheme. And you can push the boundaries very far with this style in terms of like painting trim and adding wallpaper, painting ceilings, the style of lighting, lampshades. You can add so much detail in this that it really feels very personal. It feels very interesting. There's always something to look at no matter where you are, but there are also different ways you can decorate in this. You can go really light and bright for something that almost has a little bit of a coastal feel that feels a little bit more youthful, and that's really fun. Or you can take it a little bit moodier, a little bit heavier for something that has a little bit more of that maximalist dark academia feel that's still in the Grand Millennial kind of niche, and that's really interesting as well. I love Grand Millennial, and it's a really wonderful style. It's not something that a lot of people want in their home, or they will take a more neutralized version of it because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to achieve this look into your home. It is something that you tend to see more in like luxury hotels and those sorts of spaces, like those boutique hotels. That's where you see a lot of that Grand Millennial style, and that's really good because you can visit it, enjoy it, and then come home to your house that maybe isn't as overly ornate and done up. Not to say that you can't do Grand Millennial in your home. If you're really committed to the style, I absolutely love that. When I see it come across my social media, I can tell you it genuinely brings me so much joy. You just have to be realistic about the fact that this may not be for your home, but it's still something that designers love and we can all appreciate. Another style that designers love, something that is so beautiful and I love because of its versatility, is actually transitional design. Now, some people will tell you transitional design is basically just a mix of modern and traditional pieces, and like, that's transitional, that's eclectic at best, okay? So that's not what transitional is to me. In my opinion, transitional design are furniture pieces that are intentionally designed to have traditional details with a modern refinement to them. And that's what I think creates this style and why it is so versatile and so many people like it. It tends to be one of the styles you see used in model homes because it appeals to literally everyone. If you like modern design, you'll like transitional. If you like traditional design, you'll like it too, because you will see the features and details in it that you admire, that you appreciate. And that makes me happy because we can kind of play around with things and we can do something interesting. Now, one of the big takeaways for transitional design and what you want to look out for is the use of pattern and detail in it and color schemes. I would steer away from using high contrast patterns in transitional design. It can be overwhelmed by those graphic patterns very quickly because of the level of refinement within the design of these pieces. I think this is more about colors you're using. So we want to build a really strong gradient of colors. We start off with our initial colors and we go a couple shades darker and we go a couple shades lighter to build that gradient up so things feel very soothing, very aesthetic, very relaxing. You walk into a space and your eye travels throughout it and you can kind of see everything. A really strong color scheme in this style will make it look and feel gorgeous and beautiful, will always make it feel timeless. And that's the big takeaway here. Traditional design can feel heavy to people and they may not always want that. So then they lean towards modern design. But modern design, it comes, it goes, it changes, it gets elevated because that's the newest thing that's happening right now. So it's not necessarily always going to be timeless, as where transitional is the perfect balance between the two. Something I want you to keep an eye out for and look forward as you go in and start or continue on your design journey, I love that for you, is where transitional design goes, because we're leaning more modern with transitional. So you'll have a handful of more traditional reference points in it, but it's leaning more towards like traditional, modern, plus mid-century for some of those details and lines, even a little bit of postmodern, leaning into that more organic modern look and feel. That's where transitional design is headed, and I think it's really interesting to see how this is happening and where it's going to. But no matter what form of transitional design you choose, it will always look and feel timeless because it has a reference to both the past, the present, and the future. Now that Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because I love interior design just like you and beautiful homes, but you always see them in their insane multi-million dollar mega mansions, and you do not have to have that to have stunning design in a normal home. We're gonna talk about it. Now, the first thing you can do to your very normal home that will immediately make it feel luxurious and beautiful is actually being able to design it in a way that fits your lifestyle. And that comes into play when you're choosing finishes, you're choosing flooring, you're choosing rugs. I'm looking around here like, what all could I choose that would have an effect on the lifestyle of this space? And that's everything. And what do I mean by that? You compliment me all of the time. Okay, well, naturally. I mean, there's plenty here to compliment, but you compliment me all of the time on my furniture or the pieces I have, and you say, that's so beautiful, I love that, it's my favorite piece. And guess what? They're delicate pieces that if I had, dogs that were rough with my things, if I had kids that were running around my home, I would not have those because they're just delicate. They require looking after. It's a lot of work. And it's something I'm willing to put in because I like the pieces of furniture I have. You might not be that person. You might be like, you know what? I love that fantasy for you, but it's just not realistic for me. That is normal. So you have to decide what are the finishes you can bring into your home that are going to stand up against the lifestyle you have. Or maybe you're just that person, you're like, you know what? I don't want to take care of this stuff. I don't want to spend my life cleaning my house. So I want it to be ultra low maintenance. We can do it. Example, this sofa here, I love it. Boucle, it's gorgeous. I have little Arden on my lap right now. Hi there, handsome. He doesn't like to give kisses, but he is very sweet. He can lay on my lap here on this sofa. He's just sleeping right now because we're not doing much in here. We're gonna be on the sofa for maybe like 45 minutes filming this video, and then we'll get up and go. We don't hang out here, so I can have a white boucle sofa, which is not the most durable thing in the world. That's okay though, because it's stunning. But, you know, for my living room sofa downstairs, I have a Wedgwood blue velvet sofa. Dog hair is easy to wipe off of it. It hides any sort of dust that gets on it, any little debris or something like that. The velvet, the pile of it doesn't get scratched or damaged easily. That's a more low maintenance finish or material that works beautifully in an area of my home that gets a lot of usage. And you might be like, hey, I want a performance fabric. The same thing goes for like a finish of a table or something in your space. A marble top table, for example, not the number one thing to do if you're gonna set a lot of drinks down on it, because marble gets etched really easily. You might look for something that is glass, because glass is a little bit harder to damage than marble is. And I think that's interesting, but that's the case. So there are certain things you can do in your home that will fit your lifestyle, that will make your home easy to take care of. Because the one thing that your home is always going to look beautiful if you do is clean it. If it's tidy, if it's put away, if you don't have clutter and junk everywhere, if it's not dust covering everything, it's gonna look beautiful. And I get that is not a small undertaking, but you know that I am at your service. If you need any help in making those design decisions in your space, you can always book a one-on-one call with me going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic, or you could check out the link in the description box down below, click that and book your consultation to get all of your design questions answered. Something that always comes into play when we are talking about interior design is the fact that it's expensive, okay? Just being alive today is expensive, but decorating your house costs a lot of money. And there are always going to be certain things you like or you see and you're like, wow, I love that. I want that in my home. I do it all the time. Google image search, like reverse image searching, is my best friend. I will see something online, whether it's on social media or an ad comes up or, you know, whatever, I'll screenshot it. And then I can take that image, upload it to Google Images, and then reverse search whatever that is. I can find out exactly what that piece is, I can find out the price of it, and I can look for alternatives if it's out of my budget. And I love that. But here's something I wanna do for you. I'm gonna put together a little mock-up here and you're gonna see. One is A and B. I want your vote. You tell me which one of these you would go for. A, black leather sofa. It's a trend-driven sofa, very cool, interesting, love it. We're gonna do a traditional style rug, hand-knotted wool, luxurious, beautiful. I haven't decided what the coffee table it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be something stone. I'm adding up all of the prices here. It's a big number, Okay, that's not inexpensive for 3 pieces of furniture. But in option B, similar but different. And you're gonna see this price point here, way more accessible, way more affordable. Option A has more expensive pieces that are more synonymous with luxury. B gets you the look for less. Which would you do? Vote in the comment section down below, and if you like any of the pieces that you see in these images, be sure you check out the description box where I will link absolutely everything for you, and you can investigate, you can see what's up, and you can check them out, and you'll see both of these sofas are full leather, they're gorgeous quality. Be sure you check them out if you're interested. Your budget does not have to define the style you have in your space or the overall look and feel. Sometimes what makes a space feel luxurious is not just about having expensive things, but it's about layering texture. It's about creating interest and depth through the tones and colors you're using in that space. You can achieve great design on any budget. You do not have to be defined by it. Also, if you see something you like and you're like, wow, I really like that, it's out of my budget, look resale, look vintage, okay? It's okay to get something that's been pre-owned or used before and give it a second life. I think that's amazing. I literally am on Facebook Marketplace for at least maybe like 2 to 3 hours a day, just scrolling and searching and looking and seeing what's out there, because you never know what you're gonna stumble across that's really beautiful and would change your space. And that's always nice too. Design is all about the hunt. It's all about curating your space, and that takes time. So don't rush it and work within your budget. Set parameters for yourself to achieve your end goal. Now those are ideas, right? Like, you know, sticking to your budget, shopping within your lifestyle's needs and requirements, but the next tip, the pro hack that designers love, and I talk about all of the time because it truly makes that difference in your home, are the window treatments. If you go and tour a model home or you go on like a parade of homes, The houses always have beautiful window treatments because they take a normal house, no matter how large it is or how small it is, and that's okay. They are going to make that design feel intentional and feel beautiful. That's a designer quality finish. You know I have my favorite drapes. I'm going to link them below for you in my Amazon storefront. Be sure you check them out. That window treatment section is so good. Oh, you absolutely have to check it out. But doing great window treatments makes a difference. Here's a space, for example. It's a good home, you know, nice space. We can't necessarily say how big or how small this house is looking at this because it's just a room with a window in it, right? But we can up the ante by doing something gorgeous with the drapery. I love a Roman blind and I love layering window treatments, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the Roman blind and put it on the wall, apply it there so it's oversized, and I can play with the height a little bit. I can make that window appear like it's larger. This is a great tip if you're buying a new built house. Like, you know, if you get a house that has 9-foot ceilings, but the windows only extend to 7 feet, you have like 2 feet of space there. It's like, well, what are we doing here? How do we fill this up? How do we make it look normal and not like there's 2 feet of space between the ceiling and the window where the drapes are? It's crazy. You do that with a Roman blind. You hang it on the wall. You could hang it a foot above that window, and that will make the window look like it's much taller. Next, we layer drapes over top of that, and I'm gonna take them kind of either to the ceiling or at the midpoint. It just depends whether you have crown molding or what the scale of your home is. If you have, you know, beams and moldings and trim, you don't need to take the window treatments all the way to the ceiling. You can take them to the midpoint between the Roman blind and the ceiling. That's a good place to put them, and that also saves you a little bit of money on the length of the drapes. They need to go to the floor. I like pinch pleats. Here's a pro tip when you're ordering those. The pleats themselves have to be under the curtain rod. You use rings, they go under the curtain rod so they fold nicely and extend to the floor. The ones in my Amazon storefront actually have adjustable hooks, so they're super easy to use. Even doing something like an upholstered valance could be really great, and that would get you a more custom look without having to go custom on your drapes. And I think that's interesting also. And I always get a ton of questions about what do I do if I have baseboard heaters? That's normal. I don't personally believe in putting fabric near a baseboard heater because I think it is a fire hazard. Regardless of what anyone thinks or feels, I also don't think they're extremely functional because all of the heat moves upward and then gets trapped behind the drape, so it's not actually in the space. Like, that just seems stupid to me, so I don't like that. But I would look for something like a Roman blind. Do something inset. You can actually layer them if you want blackouts. You could do blinds inside the window frame, and then you could do a Roman blind outside that would double up on the blinds and really give you a lot of light filtration or blockage if you need that. So there are creative options out there for every space. Once again, if you're struggling with window treatments, no matter how big or small your questions are, I can answer them for you, or I can at least give you my take or my opinion, what I would do on them. But I really do need to see them, so I would recommend booking a consultation with me. Like I said before, use that link in the description box, intro.co/GarrettLeChic. I love a shameless plug twice in a video. Oh, speaking of very beautiful, look at little Arden. He's so sweet. And I match you today, Arden. Look at, I wore this specifically so I would match you. You are just like so tired. He's about to pass out in my arms. It's so cute. They're so sweet. But you see, I have this camel here and I match his little eyebrows and his little jowls here. And then I have my black watch on that matches his little black fur. That's so cute. And my white shirt here. Oh, look, my little microphone matches you too. You're so cute. You're like, oh, slinking down. You're just so funny. He loves to lay here and sit while we're here, which is why he's with me in my lap and he's always in these videos every week, right, Arden? Oh yeah, and he's loving his brother Cornelius. Cornelius hates being on furniture. He just hates being on furniture, so he likes to just lounge and sit and lay in his area. Cornelius is 9 years old, but that did not stop him from trying to get my pizza the other night, okay? I posted that picture in the community post. Did you all see it? He loved it. Here's the little video of Cornelius coming after my pizza. You tried to get it too, and that wasn't very nice, and I did not share it, okay? Because Cavaliers can't have pizza. Neither can Bulldogs. But the two of you are BFF, which is why you and I at home, you and me, we should be BFF too, and you should become a part of the LeChic family by hitting that subscribe button and joining us. Be our friend, Arden, isn't that right? Yes, become a part of the LeChic family, hit that subscribe button. While you are at it, I would love if you gave this video a like, and I also want to give a massive thank you and a shout out to all of our LeChic family members who have been showing up for these videos, who have been clicking on them in the first hour and have those notification bells turned on. It truly makes the world of difference to content creators like me in defeating and battling YouTube's algorithm, and I am so incredibly grateful for all of you. And Arden and I want to let you know that we do appreciate every single one of you who views these videos, no matter what time you view them at, okay? So that's a sweet little thing that Arden wanted to share, isn't it? The looks this dog gives. Oh, I can never tell. Are you like happy and in love and you're like sitting here and you're like, oh, I'm going to sleep? Or are you like pissed off that I'm holding you? What is it? No, you like to be here. I'm going to hold you like this for the next section. How does that sound? Oh, yeah. Everybody likes to see Arden. You're cute. The next thing we have to talk about that is going to make your home look beautiful and stunning. And, you know, it could elevate a normal home. Can you see him? That didn't last very long. Arden is sleeping. He's just resting here in my lap, so that's really cute. Anyway, the next thing that is going to make your very normal home look beautiful, okay, luxurious, and designer is the light fixtures in the space. Lighting is everything to me, and you know that. I'm not gonna rant and rave about it, but I will say the temperature for your light bulbs needs to be 2700. No argument, okay? We're not having a discussion about it. That is the gold standard, okay? No blue lights in your house. It's just weird. I will allow the temperature to be a little bit higher in the bathroom if you need it, but that's it, okay? Maybe in a kitchen also, but as long as there are dimmer switches involved somewhere, we can work with it. You can add personality and character and scale through great lighting. Take this space, for example. Okay, this image here. It's beautiful. I know you're loving this house, okay? You're probably gonna comment and be like, hey, Garrett, that house is so huge, it's massive. It's not a little house, okay? It's not, but the same principle applies no matter what size your home is, big or small, you can do something great. Back to the image. This house is beautiful. And you can see this is a dining room with 2 light fixtures. Now there's a couple of things I want to point out to you here, but first and foremost, the light fixtures. They are great. They are spectacular. I love the outdoor nature of them. They're kind of styled like a lantern fixture that you might see outdoors. I want to point out the most interesting thing to me is the use of lighting here with the 2 fixtures. I will bet you that the fixture on your left, my right, your left, because I'm looking at the back of the picture. So my right, your left is the original placement of the fixture. I think there was one there initially, and the clients probably said to the designer, hey, we want a bigger table. We need to fit more people here, but the table wouldn't fit centered under that light fixture. So they tapped into it and added a second one. They had an electrician do it, okay? I don't mess with electricity like that. It's an interesting thing you could do. It's a customization using lighting that enhances the usability and functionality of the space, enhances the scale of the space, and takes advantage of it. It's things like that that are so great you can do. There are so many great things you can do with lighting in your home. By customizing it, you're adding personality, and at the same time, you're doing something that is just interesting. It personalizes it. It makes it different from everyone else's home. I love a big, oversized light fixture, okay? I want something that's got great scale to it, that really enhances the space, because I just feel like otherwise the space looks empty with like a teeny little dinky light fixture. Like, don't give me some miniature thing, okay? Go big or go home. And I love that for you, and I love that for me. The next thing we have to talk about when it comes to your home is actually all about social media and not being enamored by it, not falling for trends, because you have to do your own personal style. I get hundreds of offers a year to work with brands and companies, okay? Hundreds of them. I turn them down all of the time. I think year to date at this point, I've maybe done 7 deals with brands that I've either worked with before, I believe in, or I think are great. But, you know, a lot of other content creators have to create content based on not their knowledge and experience, unlike me, but on the stuff that they're buying or getting from these brands. So they're constantly rotating things through, showing you something new, and it creates the effect that you have to do that in your home also, that you constantly have to be buying and buying. And listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from my peers or colleagues, but if you see something you like and you think that's right for you that they're showing you, I'm not telling you not to buy it. I'm not telling you not to support the content creators you enjoy. I would prefer if you supported me, but that's okay. You have to buy things that you like in the long term, whether they are trendy, whether they are in right now or not. Just wait for it to come back around. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Do not fall victim to trends via social media in your home, because you're going to have a space that you don't like very quickly if you do that. Okay, social media is constantly changing. Your algorithm is going to show you something today and one different thing tomorrow, and then you're going to be tired of it. Don't fall victim to that. Stay true to your personal style. That's what's going to make your home beautiful in the long term. Whether you have a big mega mansion or a normal home, it can be beautiful as long as you stick true to your style and focus on the details. You may have a normal house and we are trying to elevate it, so be sure you avoid mistakes that are gonna make it look cheap, like I shared in this video right over here that I would recommend you check out, because I'm looking around here thinking like, it might help you. Be sure you click on this video right here and I will see you over there.